Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're going to start looking at blacklisting. A blacklist allows us to have a list of things that we don't want to allow access to. So, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to create a short blacklist of user IDs that we want to deny access to. So, let's go ahead and create a new file that I'm going to call blacklist.py. And in here, I'm just going to create a simple constant set with the values 2 and 3. So this is a set of values in Python. 2 and 3 are the values inside it. And these are the user IDs that will be denied access. So user ID 1 will have access, but user ID 2 and user ID 3 won't have access. We'll automatically say, you cannot access this. How are we going to do that? It won't work magically just by creating that file. We do have to add a little bit of configuration in here. The first thing is we have to enable the blacklist in Flask-JWT-Extended. By default, it is disabled. So we have to do app.config JWT_blacklist_enabled is going to be true. And the second thing is app.config JWT blacklist token checks are going to be a list of access and refresh. This just means we're going to enable the blacklist for both access and refresh tokens. So no matter what they send, we're going to say, no, you cannot access this. Now that we've done this, our blacklist is enabled, but it still doesn't know what is a blacklisted thing versus not a blacklisted thing. So we have to make sure to do that. All to do is go ahead and down here add another loader. What we're going to do is say JWT.token in blacklist loader, and this is going to be a function that returns true if the token that we're being sent is in the blacklist, and it has to return false if it's not in the blacklist. So I'm going to call this check if token in blacklist, and it receives a parameter which is the decrypted token. In the decrypted token, we can access any data stored in the token. So this can be the identity, and it can also be other things like when the token was created, a specific token ID, and so forth. We're going to access the user's identity. So we're going to say return decrypted token identity. This identity field is in the JWT, and it comes from the Flask-JWT-Extended internals. So we don't get to define this token. It just is there, and it contains the value that we set when we created the access token. And we're going to say in blacklist. We have to import blacklist as well. Let me do that real quick. And make sure to not misspell things. There you go. So again, this is just saying decrypted token identity in blacklist will be true if it is in there, and it will be false if it's not in there. And that's it. If it's there, what it's going to do is it's going to determine that this is blacklisted, and it's going to go down here to the revoked token loader, and it's going to say this token has been revoked, you don't have access. If it's not in the blacklist, it's just not going to do anything. It's going to continue and allow access, no problem. Let's go into Postman and open this up. So we're going to create a new user. Got to make sure your app is running though. So I always do forget to do that. We are going to open up the terminal and run our app like that. Now we're going to create a user. We have a user created successfully, and this user is user ID number 1. So we can use this user as normal. We're going to try to get an item, and remember, item get requires a JWT. So this works because this is the first user in our database. If we go ahead and create a different user, I'm going to call this user 15, and we create it, then we can log in as that user. But now this access token is saved into our environment variables, and when we try to access the item, it's going to check the blacklist for that access token, and it's going to determine that you cannot access it. And there you have it. You can see that it says the token has been revoked. And that is exactly what we would expect, because that's what the token revoked loader does. So in this video, we've looked at blacklisting. We have blacklisted a static set of user IDs, and that's not really normally what you want to do. Normally, you want to use this blacklisting for specific things. For example, if somebody is abusing your system and you want to revoke their access, or if you have somebody that's logged out and you want to revoke their token specifically, not their user ID, but just the token that they're currently using so that they have to log in again. And I'm sure you can come up with a few more scenarios where you might want to use token revoking. But I'm sure you'll agree it's a pretty useful feature of Flask-JWT-Extended, so it's worth looking at it in the very next video. I'll see you there.